It's legendary beats.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching. So this is Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo. He is the General Overseer of Commonwealth of Zion Assembly in Nigeria and all over the world. Back in 2013, this pastor was at the center of a massive adultery scandal after one of his former church members and worker of his church named S.A. Walter exposed him for their illicit adultery that went on for months and months and months, covering several countries and several cities or whatever. At the time of the scandal, this was a very big deal, and the girl was very detailed in regards to their escapades. And she said at first that she was nervous about carrying on a relationship with a pastor, a married pastor for that matter. But she said that Pastor Biodun convinced her not to worry about it because there's a special grace that supposedly covered him as a man of God. So she was fine. And she went on to have this illicit relationship that she detailed. I mean, like I said, this was such a big deal in 2013. And everyone was hoping that at some point that Pastor Fatoyinbo was going to come out and deny. He did not deny it. Instead, he came to church one Sunday morning and basically said that he does not want to talk about it because he prayed to God and God told him to hold his peace. He said that he's been contacted by a lot of his top people, his friends, internationally and even in Nigeria, including some politicians who wanted him to address the situation, who also said that they understand that he's a target, being a pastor or whatever. He then went on to insinuate that the scandal that he was facing at the time was basically an attack by people who were jealous, people who were envious about his church, that looking at the size of the church that he was building at the time, that he understands why people will want to attack him, which is also a pattern for these church pastors. Whenever they do something and they're about to be exposed, they tend to go on to maybe blame the attack or blame the accusations or blame the scandal on people who are envious or on people who are jealous of them on account of them building a massive church or whatever. So they've already planned ahead that should the scandal happen, should they be called out for their bad behavior, they would just look for something to use as an excuse to cover up the fact that they are actually doing terrible things to their church members. At the time of the scandal, people came for S.A. Walter, accusing her of trying to break up Pastor Biodun's home, accusing her of all kinds of things, even though they knew, like, you just had to listen to her story to know that she wasn't lying. Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo also knew that she was lying. That was why he never came out to address any one of the report, because he knew that this girl had proof. There were times that she even said that she paid for the hotel room so that his name did not show up. She also said that a lot of his goons, some of the people closest to him, knew or knows about his illicit affairs, and they basically go to extra lengths to make sure that they help him cover it up so that it does not get exposed. He was afraid that maybe if he should come out and maybe try to deny it or try to say that she's lying, all of those things will result in her bringing out all the proof that she had. So he did not want to take the chance. So he just waited for the whole situation to die down. And just like that, the situation died down. Before you know it, people moved on. People stopped talking about it. Even S.A. herself moved on. The pastor, not long after that, his church member threw him an elaborate luxury birthday bash in Dubai. They gifted him all kinds of gifts, cars or whatever. So people just kind of moved on, and this thing flew under the radar for a very, very long time. And I remember the Sunday that Pastor Biodun was trying to address the situation without really addressing it. He kept telling his wife that he loves her, she's the only one he wants, which is another pattern for a lot of these pastors. When they've done something bad, they turn to their wives, and of course their wives are always going to support them, their wives are always going to protect them, their wives are always going to put up a united front to make it appear that everything is good, to make it appear that they are on their husband's side regardless of whatever. Like I said, the whole thing blew over. Before you know it, people had moved on. Nobody was even talking about it anymore. And like I said, the pastor went on to have an elaborate, luxurious birthday bash in Dubai where church members, international pastors attended and they celebrated him. And it was as if nothing ever happened. He was not the least bit affected by that scandal. Everyone just kind of moved on, and everyone, before you know it, everyone forgot about it. And I said, Walter, the girl that was in the middle of that scandal, eventually got married. She had 2 kids and she kind of moved on with her life as well. So why am I speaking about something that's seemingly ancient, you may wonder? Well, it turns out that Pastor Biodun did not learn from his experience. In fact, based on what we now know, based on some of the information that is now being released, it seems like the pastor only got worse, and he's basically discovered a legal way to continue his salacious affairs, at the same time shutting up his victims from ever speaking up. He makes them sign confidentiality forms, and he threatens to sue them if they should ever speak about their escapades with him. Last Thursday, popular Nigerian singer Timi Dakolo let out a series of posts on his Instagram accusing Pastor Biodun of carrying on series of relationship with female members of his church. The singer called on members of the church to try and find these ladies and the men who have at one time come out to speak their mind or say their truth about what was going on before they were shut down by Pastor Biodun and his criminal lawyers, according to him. Alongside a picture with text written on it, Timi Dakolo captioned the picture, "Commonwealth call Zion. Church is supposed to fix broken people and not crush people who show up to church needing God." Timi Dakolo also urged Pastor Biodun's aggressive church members to use the same energy that they are using to abuse and threaten him to find some of Pastor Biodun's victims and ask them why they stopped coming to church and ask them what really happened. Apparently, Pastor Biodun's church members have resolved to insulting and threatening Timi Dakolo and his family, all because he spoke out and exposed their fake pastor. Timi Dakolo also wrote, "From Ilorin to Abuja to Lagos to Dubai to Port Harcourt to London and any city he visits, your pastor is leaving a trail of broken women, sexually abused and mentally strangled. From avalanche to gratitude, from pastoral care unit to the host and hostesses, from the witty invention of hospitality unit, they are found in every department in the church. He handpicks them and ruins them." So none of you wonder why a dedicated church worker or leader stop coming to church and don't want to talk about it. Suddenly rumors start flying around the person being evil. I will tell you all straight up, all your branch pastors know about this evil going on for years and they are part of it. Some of the victims they will threaten, some they will pay off, and some they will spoil by isolating from the church members. Oga criminal lawyer always do the dirty work behind the scene. Dear church members, try and find these ladies and men to hear their side of the truth before crucifying them or branding them evil. Trust me, their side of the story will shock you. Touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. They have used that line to scam us well. How we carefully uproot a scripture and give it an interpretation that suits us without actually knowing the context with which it was said. Both congregation and the pastor are very much anointed. Jesus did not die two separate deaths, one for the pastor and another for the congregation. The house of God is a place of prayer and not a den of thieves, Timi Dakolo wrote. So you guys just heard all of that. Apparently, Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo has continued his ways. He has continued to autobolize, if I should say so myself, the female members of his church. Many of them are threatened should they speak. The fact that this man still had people and followers supporting him after his essay water scandal speaks to the mindset of his followers. And another thing that I find incredibly shocking is the fact that his church members have basically taken to social media to defend this man by saying that he did not force these women to have that relationship with them, that they could have said no or simply not participate. Can you imagine the amount of brainwash that goes on in that church? Like, they don't care that their married pastor is an adulterer committing all kinds of adultery in the church. They don't care about all of that. They are just pissed off that someone is brave enough to actually speak about it. And apparently, Timi Dakolo had to clarify that he was not concerned about two people having consensual relationship, that he was actually speaking about the women who were being forced to do these things by Pastor Fatoyinbo, allegedly. So he wasn't necessarily talking about two adults, even though it is still wrong in the eyes of God. He wasn't talking about two adults having consensual relationship. He's talking about the women that are being forced to do these things. But like I said, after that scandal between him and Essie Walter, his church basically, they compensated him basically by throwing him an elaborate birthday, in Dubai, in a destination. It was just all so crazy. These days, church is now a cult where for you to actually belong, you cannot talk about things that you see that are contrary to the teachings of Jesus Christ. Churches these days, for you to belong, for you to be a part of it, you have to be able to keep quiet. Your pastor has to be able to do whatever he likes, mess the women up the way he likes, and nothing will come out of it. And when you do speak out, when you do summon enough courage to maybe talk about your experience and things that you have seen, you are completely shut down, you are isolated, you are excommunicated, and you are painted as evil. And nobody ever wants to speak with you again. So, and that's just what church is these days. And it's just so sad that people have allowed themselves to be brainwashed, to be manipulated, to be used and abused in this manner. It just really breaks my heart for these people, because this is just so sad and it's really not worth it. You see pastors living extravagant lifestyle. I mean, this is the same pastor who goes to Sunday service wearing a hooded sweatshirt that costs $1,200, a Gucci sweatshirt. And then the church members are supposed to do what? Has church now become a fashion parade center or what? It is so crazy. The minute you dare question him, the minute you dare challenge him, the minute you dare even try to go against what he wants you to do, your only job as a church member these days, whether you are a worker, whether you're just a congregation member, whatever you do in the church, your only job right now is to say yes, sir, to whatever he instructs you to do. And that is just sad, and it's just getting worse. It's just getting worse. People don't care. People don't want to listen because they're getting something from this. They are. Because at the end of the day, these pastors have now realized, they have now in their mind, in their brainwashing session, they have now realized that to get your church member to do anything for you, to get any one of them to succumb to you, to get any one of them to say yes to whatever you demand, is to basically just smile at them, just give them 5% of your attention at any given point. Whenever you need something from them, give them 5% of your attention, and they will fold like a deck of cards. They will fold, they will do whatever you say, they will do whatever you tell them, they will do whatever you instruct them. It is just so sad. I mean, seriously. When are the people going to wake up? I don't even understand. This man straight up committed adultery, allegedly, and this girl that he committed this adultery with had proof, had everything, but still this man went on to even continue with his big ass church that he was building, succeeded in building that church, had an elaborate birthday bash in destination Dubai, and everything just went on as if nothing happened. I truly feel sorry for Nigerians, because this is not life. Your pastors know that the best way for them to get you to do whatever they want you to do is to give you 5% of their, what's even 5%? Is to give you 1% of their attention. Just give them attention that day, and they will fold. Whatever you want them to do, they will fold like a deck of cards. They will do any single thing that you want them to do, just for giving them that 1% attention. And a lot of times, many of these church members want to maintain that attention, so they will continue to give and give and give, either by just listening to the pastor or by pumping in their hard-earned money. That is why you see that most of the people that pastors are closest to in church are the people that give a lot, people that pay a lot of tithes and offerings, because these pastors, they check your record, they see how much tithe you pay, they see how much offering you pay, so they check these things. So most of the people that get the attention of the pastors are the people that are willing to give without asking questions, or the people that are willing to follow his instructions without asking questions. Those are the people who get the pastor's full attention. If you're like an outlier, if you are one of those people who don't really succumb, if you're one of those people who don't pander to their antics, you just go to church to listen to the word and just go home afterwards, you will not be a pastor's friend. The pastor will not call on you for anything. The pastor will not rely on you for anything. You will be an outlier. You'll be wondering, why doesn't this pastor like me? Because you don't do what he wants you to do, because you're not like the rest of them. You're not like the rest of the people that he's able to manipulate and deceive and mislead and brainwash. That's why he does not care about you. And you shouldn't feel bad about that. You should be thankful, and you should be proud of yourself that you are not a sheep, that you are not a mumu that is just leading without even asking questions. You should be proud of yourself. Anyways, this is where I'm going to end this, you guys. Let me know what you guys think in a comment. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to my channel if you've not already done so. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Ciao, guys.
See, I want you to know that I'm from a beautiful country where we call Niger. Everything we want, we got.